بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue chapter 11 of the last section, section 12 of Bidayat Hikmah. We already had the first paragraph. This is about hierarchical intellects. So we said the first thing which is created by God is one intellect. According to Qa'idat al-Wahid, the rule of the one, only one can come from something which is absolutely basit, simple. وَلَمَّا كَانَ مَعْنَى أَوَّلِيَتِهِ. When we say this is the first creature, the first صادر, خلق أول or صادر أول, what does it mean first? Means before anything else. And before here means higher. Anything else is created directly or indirectly by that. Of course, under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the cause for other things, but itself is effect for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لما كان معنى أوليته هو تقدمه في الوجود على غيره من الوجودات الممكنة وهو العلية كانت علة متوسطة بينه تعالى وبين سائر الصوادر منه. Since the meaning of being first means that it precedes in existence other things from creatures which are contingent beings, so anything else among contingent beings is following it. So this means causality. So this is a middle cause which occurs between God and other things which are created by God. فَهُوَ الْوَاسِطَةُ فِي صُدُورِ مَا دُونَهُ. So this is like a medium between God and the rest. Means everything else comes through this.
Is this creation once?
Yes.
At once?
Yes. The whole creation is one, but we analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, God created only once and one thing. You may say you are limiting power of God. You are saying that God cannot create, for example, 10 things at the same level, same time, level. I mean, time here doesn't make sense in our level. I mean. We say, no, we are not limiting power of God. He has power over every possible thing. But if something is impossible, it's not a matter of his power being limited. It's a matter of this is not possible. It's not doable. Yeah, we had this discussion in Aqaid and also in philosophy that God's power does not belong to muhalat, to impossible things, not because his power has problem, because they have problem. For example, God cannot make 2 + 2 5. Why? Because his power is limited? No, because 2 + 2 cannot be 5. Yeah? Only a tyrant, an arrogant person may try to make 2 + 2 5, and even at them cannot do it.
But that's also a form of not truthful. Like 2 + 2 is 4, but not 2 + 2 is not 5. So is it that we have to say that because God is just and truth is haq, therefore 2 and 2 has to be 4?
Yeah. So I'm saying God doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's anyway something which is not possible. It's never happens. So when we say only one thing can be coming from God first and directly, this is because kathir cannot come due to problem in themselves, not due to a problem in God. وَلَيْسَ فِي ذَلِكَ تَحْدِيدُ الْقُدْرَةِ الْمُطْلَقَةِ الْوَاجِبِيَّةِ. In what we said, that we have Sadr Awwal, and then through that God creates other things, there is no tahdid. Tahdid with ha means limit, from had. It's different from tahdid in the sense of threatening. That's with ha have was. Yeah, this is ha khutbi. ليس في ذلك تحديد القدرة المطلقة الواجبية. There is no limiting or restricting or narrowing absolute power of God which is necessary. التي هي عين الذات المتعالية. As you know, على ما تقدم, as we discussed, power of God is essential. Yeah, it is identical with His essence. Yeah, we said God's power is not separate from His essence. God's knowledge is not separate from His essence. Yeah, so we are not touching or taking away anything from His power. So, how can then this not be restriction? وَذَلِكَ لأن الصدور الكثير من حيث هو كثير من الواحد من حيث هو واحد ممتنع على ما تقدم. Because multiple, insofar as it's multiple, because sometimes there is multiple on the surface, but you find one common element. And you say this common element is created. That's then one. But kathir bima huwa kathir means you are concerned with their multiplicity. You want to preserve their multiplicity. And then you have one which has no multiplicity. This is impossible. That multiple, bima huwa multiple, insofar as multiple, comes from absolute one. Absolute simple. لأن صدور الكثير من حيث هو كثير من الواحد من حيث هو واحد ممتنع على ما تقدم. As we said in Qadi al-Wahid, it's impossible. والقدرة لا تتعلق إلا بالممكن. Power does not belong except to something which is possible. أما المحالات الذاتية الباطلة الزوات, but those things which are impossible in essence. Yeah, muhal dhati. Remember, we said there is muhal dhati, there is muhal wuqu'i. You know, muhal dhati means in its essence is impossible, like contradiction. Something which is impossible in essence can never be subject of qudra. Not because qudra has a problem, this has problem. You say, ala kulli shay'in qadir. It must be shay. This has no shay here. It's batil. Amma al-muhalatu dhatiyat, but those things which are essentially impossible. Al-batilatu zawat, and their essence is batil, is false. Kasalb shay an nafsih. You want to negate something from itself. You say A is not A. You say, can God make A not A? Waljam bayna naqidain. To make A and not A the same. It's day and not day. It's cold and not cold. Or raf'ihima. Neither day nor night, neither cold nor not cold. Jam'un naqizain or raf'un naqizain. Jam'un naqizain means to have two contradictory parts together or to have none of them. Because you know, اجتماع النقيضين محال, ارتفاع النقيضين أيضا محال. فلا ذات لها سلب الشيء عن نفسه or اجتماع النقيضين or رفع النقيضين have no essence حتى تتعلق بها القدرة, has no essence so that the power belongs to it. فحرمانها من الوجود ليس تحديدا للقدرة وتقييدا لإطلاقها. So, if they are deprived from existence, if God does not grant them existence, Herman means to be deprived, is not limiting the power. It's not restricting the absoluteness of his power. ليس تحديدا للقدرة وتقييدا لإطلاقها means إطلاق القدرة. It's not limiting his power, it's not restricting the absoluteness of his power. ثم إن العقل الأول وإن كان واحدا في وجوده. Please listen carefully. Now we want to explain how multiplicity happens. The first intellect, although it is واحد في وجوده, it is single in its being. بسيطا في صدوره, it is simple in its occurrence. So far is one. But لكنه لمكان إمكانه تلزمه ماهية اعتبارية غير أصيلة. But because it is contingent, it must have mahiyya. Mahiyya is i'tibari. It's not primordial, it's not asil. So now we have two things. One asil, which is wujud. One mahiyya, which is not asil. This is enough to start having multiplicity. لأن موضوع الإمكان هي الماهية. As soon as you have إمكان, you have ماهية, because the subject of contingency is ماهية. الماهية أمكنت. You remember that formula. الماهية أمكنت. فاحتاجت. ومن وجه آخر, another thing that you can say is هو يعقل ذاته ويعقل الواجب. So it has imkan. Also it understands itself and understands God. يعقل ذاته, understands its essence. ويعقل الواجب, and understands God, has knowledge of himself and knowledge of God. فيتعدد فيه الجهة. So there are two or more than one dimension. ويمكن أن يكون لذلك مصدرا لأكثر من معلول واحد. So it can be masdar, a source for more than one effect. But لكن الجهات الموجودة في عالم المثال الذي دون عالم العقل بالغة مبلغا لا تفي بصدورها الجهات القليلة التي في العقل الأول. But even if we accept that under uqul is alam al-mithal, and under alam al-mithal is alam al-madda. So, there is so much multiplicity here, lower than alam al-uqul, that it's not possible to explain everything with this little, multiplicity that we have found. We need more. So the solution is what? To have more and more aql and coming down. لكن الجهات الموجودة في عالم المثال, but those dimensions, or you can say those features that exist in عالم المثال, the world of مثال, الذي دون عالم العقل, which is lower than عالم العقل, reaches بالغة, means reaches مبلغا, amount or extent, that لا تفي بصدورها الجهات القليلة التي هي في العقل الأول. Those dimensions or features which are in the first عقل are not sufficient. فلا بد من صدور عقل ثان ثم ثالث. So there must be a second intellect and third intellect. وهكذا. This continues حتى تبلغ جهات الكثرة عددا يفي بالصدور العالم الذي يتلوه من المثال. So it must continue till we reach so much of different features and dimensions that would be sufficient for explaining عالم المثال. فتبين أن هناك عقولا طولية كثيرة. So there are many hierarchical intellect. But Allah says, وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَنَا طَرِيقٌ إِلَىٰ إِحْصَاءِ عَدَدِهَا. Although we have no way to define the number. So we disagree with Masha'in when they fix 10. We say, philosophically, we are not able to say that must be 10. Maybe it's 100, maybe it's million. We don't know how many. But it's enough just to reach this level of multiplicity, yes.
So, you said earlier that in order to understand this multiplicity, we have to understand these kind of levels of being like descending.
Yeah.
But is this a way of us understanding to enable us to understand, or is it actually that is these levels of being?
It's the same. Because otherwise our understanding is jahl. Anything that we understand, if it is true, it means the reality is like this. But maybe there are different angles. But this doesn't mean that your understanding was false. There's another way of looking at something maybe, but not like alternative. Like different considerations. So what we understand in philosophy must be true. Otherwise our philosophy is not right. But this might be only one way of looking at things. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we finished this. Now we move on to the 12th chapter, فَالْعُقُولِ الْأَرْضِيَّةِ. And at least maybe we can have the beginning of it before Allama starts mentioning arguments of those who believe in Uqul Arziyah. So, Uqul Arziyah, remember, horizontal intellects. Yeah? Means none of them is the cause for the other or effect for the other, but they are under something higher that is the cause for them, either in one level or finally they come under the same thing. أثبت الإشراقيون في الوجود عقولا أرضية. Illuminationist philosophers like Sheikh Ishraq and his followers, they have proved in existence horizontal عقول لا علية ولا معلولية بينها. There is no causality among them at the same level. هي بحذاء الأنواع المادية التي في هذا العالم المادي. They are corresponding to material types or species that we have in this material world. You know, for example, we have horse. They say there is one perfect horse, which is aql. There is one perfect donkey, one perfect elephant, one perfect human being, one perfect of every no'emati. Any perfection that exists in different individual of that type comes from that one. But that one itself is created by something higher. Okay? So they want to say, like the idea of Plato, you know, Muthul Aflatuni, idea of ideas. Yeah, that we have archetypes that are eternal, and anything in this world is coming from them. So this is the idea of إشراقي. بحذاء الأنواع المادية التي في هذا العالم المادي. They are corresponding to material types that we have in this world. يدبر كل منها ما يحاذيه من النوع. Each of them manages its own type. This is why they are called Rabbun No. They are Lord of their own type. The plural is Arbabul Anwa, the Lords. Not creator of like God, but in a sense they are managing them under God. تسمى أرباب الأنواع يا المثل الأفلاطونية, Platonic ideas. لأنه كان يصر على القول بها. Why they call it أفلاطون, المثل الأفلاطوني? Because Aflatun was insisting on this idea. وأنكرها المشاؤون. But peripatetic philosophers denied this. Aristotle, or in the world of Islam, Ibn Sina and people like him, they denied Plato's idea. So, when they denied having these Rabbul No, how they explain then things that happen in each No, according to Surat No Indian. They say the form of each type is responsible. So if all the horses are one way, for example, and they are different from elephants, it's not necessarily because there is a perfect horse that runs them. It's Surat No'iyeh. You know, Surat is one type of Johar, the form that makes that auspicious. وأنكرها المشاؤون ونسبوا التدابير المنسوبة إليها. They have attributed the tadabir. Tadbir means planning, managing, running. Everything that they were ascribing to Rabbul Anwa, Masha'un ascribed it to what? إلى آخر العقول الطولية, to the Aql Fa'al, the last Aql, but with the Vasila of what? Surat No'iyah. So Aql Fa'al runs everything lower, but through Surat No'iyah. Because Aql Fa'al grants them Surat No'iyah. وقد اختلفت أقوال المثبتين في حقيقتها. Those who affirm عقول أرضية, horizontal intellects, they themselves have different opinions about reality of these عقول. You know, Sheikh, Ishraq, Aflatun, although they share the same idea, but it's not that all of them have the same understanding. وَأَصَحُّ الْأَقْوَالِ فِيهَا. And among those views, the best is this, the most correct, although even this we don't agree. But the best among them, عَلَى مَا قِيلَ, as it has been said, is this one. أَنَّ لكل نوع, this is what I explained to you. لكل نوع من هذه الأنواع المادية. For every species of these material species, there is fardan mujarrada. There is an individual which is immaterial, a horse which is immaterial. في أول الوجود, from the beginning, and it's on top of them and it's eternal. واجدا بالفعل جميع الكمالات الممكنة لذاك النوع. It has actually all the perfections that are possible for that. Maybe we don't have any perfect horse on the earth, but any perfection is there. Otherwise, how a horse can then become a perfect horse that was not there? Yeah, anything comes there. You know, some people compare this to the idea that we have in the Quran. إن من شيء إلا عندنا خزائنه وما ننزله إلا بقدر معلوم. There is nothing except its treasures are with us, and we don't send it down except with a fixed measure. We explained in the Quran class. But that idea is different from Aflatun idea. It has similarities, but it's very much different. We don't say in khaza'in of Allah there is a perfect horse. You know, it's different. So, for every type of these material species, there is an immaterial individual in the beginning of existence, which possesses actually all perfections which are possible for that type. يعتني بأفرادها المادية. يعتني, اعتنا means to take care of. That perfect horse takes care of all material individuals of horse. Any horse in this world is taken care of by that horse. فَيُدَبِّرُهَا, it runs that بِوَاسِطَةِ صُورَتِهَا النَّوْعِيَّةِ, with the help of its form. Surah is form, which is نوعية, which is of that, for that species. Like for us, we are حيوان ناطق. ناطقية for us is our surah النوعية. What makes us insan is surah النوعية. For us is ناطقية. فَيُخْرِجُهَا مِنَ الْقُوَّةِ إِلَى الْفِعْلِ, so takes it from potentiality to actuality. بِتَحْرِيكَ, how does that is? By moving it a kind of substantial motion. حَرَكَةً جَوْهَرِيَّةً, which of course is followed بما يتبعها من الحركات العرضية. So it moves it, substantial motion, but you know, substantial motion then is followed by lots of changes in accidents. Okay? So this is the best account of this idea. وَقَدْ احْتَجُّوا لِإِثْبَاتِهَا بِوُجُوهٍ. For proving this, they have brought different arguments. Maybe we can leave the arguments for another session because it takes long and it's a little bit complicated. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to understand the world as He has created as much as we need for our perfection, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.